What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're dealing with a problem that my wife had with her Mercedes GL 450 the other day. She called me on her way home from work and was like, hey, I had this like weird ticking or clicking noise coming from the engine bay. I'm not really sure what it is. I don't know if I should keep driving it. I just had her, get out, make sure there's no fluids leaking on the ground, make sure nothing looked crazy, asked her if there's any warning lights on the dash. She said none of that stuff existed. So I was like, okay, cool, you're only a couple miles from home, just drive the rest of the way home. She gets it home, I pop the hood and I'm looking around at things, and I noticed that this little piece of drive belt has just kind of hanging out over on this side of the engine bay. Is actually like down here somewhere, stuck in some stuff. So I pull that out and I'm like, huh, that looks like a piece of the drive belt, obviously. And I get to look in and I notice that our drive belt down here looks like it's missing a rib off of it. If you look down there at the alternator pulley, you can see that there's like a shiny piece of the pulley exposed and like a broken off end of a belt there. So I'm like, okay, that's for sure from this drive belt. Kind of weird considering that I've replaced that belt here in the last year or so. Kind of uncharacteristic of a drive belt to just go bad out of nowhere like that. So I start looking at things some more, and I noticed that here on the back of my drive belt, I kind of got some wear that looks like it's starting to like actually show the internal structure of the belt, like the cords or the nylon cords are showing through on the belt. And then I get looking down further, and you notice that our pulley down there, the back of our idler pulley, has like these little dots all over it, and those dots are actually the rubber material from the back of the belt being deposited onto that pulley. Now, there's only one thing that causes that, and that's going to be a fluid leak, and usually of some kind of hydraulic-based oil or not coolant, it's hydraulic-based oil. And I get looking a little bit further, and I notice that appears as though our oil filter housing gasket is leaking. So I'm thinking that just over some time that our oil filter housing was leaking oil on the belt started to come apart and started to deteriorate and come apart, and then shredded that one rib off, and that's what she ended up hearing. Now there's only going to be two things that are going to cause a belt to start to come apart like that. That's either like a liquid, like oil, power steering fluid, things like that, leaking onto the belt itself and actually starts to break down the rubber, and the rubber starts to just disintegrate and come apart. The only other thing that would cause that rib or that one piece of that belt to come apart is the pulleys being misaligned. I'm not concerned that the pulleys are misaligned on this car, just because I haven't had any other issues up until now, and I have that oil leak and that like chunking, or what they call, where it's actually like the rubber is coming off of the back of the belt and being deposited on the other pulleys. That to me is an indication that the oil leak is what causes this belt to break down. So I'm going to get this belt replaced for now so that we can continue driving this car without any other issues, and I'm going to put the oil filter housing gasket on my list of things to do. Hopefully this helps you guys kind of diagnose some simple stuff for just a belt coming loose on your car, having a part issue where it starts to come apart like that. It's gonna be, like I said, gonna be one or two things. It's either gonna be fluid leaking on the belt or a misaligned pulley. In a future video I will show everyone how to check for a misaligned pulley. It usually requires some special tools in order to do that. I have access to, so I'll show you guys how that works. But obviously this situation, it's just fluid leaking on the belt, which is usually the case. Very few times in my career have I actually seen a misaligned pulley cause this belt to come apart like that. So if you guys have any questions about this, please comment down below. Be sure to answer any questions you guys have, and I'll see you guys later.
Come, selector.